At 3:17 a.m., your phone lights up. No notification, no sound, no sender. Just one question. Would you like to reset your life? Not fix it, not improve it. Reset. Erase every mistake. Undo every regret. Become someone cleaner. And just before you touch the screen, a second line appears. You will remember that you chose this. So think carefully, because this isn't about changing your life. It's about deciding which version of you deserves to exist. You weren't supposed to see it. It appeared at 3:17 a.m. on a night that felt heavier than usual. The kind of night where silence presses against your ears, where your thoughts echo louder than they should. You were just scrolling, half awake, half lost, when the screen flickered. Not a glitch, a message. No sender, no notification sound. Just words already there waiting. Would you like to reset your life? No emojis, no explanation, no second line. Just two options beneath it. Yes, no. You stared at it longer than you'd like to admit. At first, you thought it was a prank, some new viral trick, a psychological experiment. But something felt wrong. Not dangerous, not urgent. Just inevitable, like this moment had been quietly walking toward you your entire life. You locked your phone, waited, unlocked it again. Still there. The message didn't disappear. It didn't refresh. It didn't behave like anything you'd ever seen before. Your heart started beating faster, not out of fear, but recognition. Because deep down, you already knew your answer. Your mind began to wander. What would reset even mean? Would you go back to childhood? Undo your biggest mistakes? Say the things you never said? Avoid the people who broke you? Or worse, would you lose everything that made you you? Memories, pain, love, regret. Would all of it be erased like a corrupted file? Or rewritten into something cleaner? Your finger hovered above the screen, and then a second line appeared, slowly, like it was being typed in real time. You will remember that you chose this. Your breath caught. That wasn't comforting, that was a warning. Because if you remembered choosing it, then you'd also remember what you lost. And maybe that would be the cruelest part. You leaned back, staring at the ceiling. Your life flashed not in a dramatic montage, but in fragments, awkward silences, missed chances, words you wish you could take back, moments that felt small at the time, but now carried weight. And then the darker ones, the nights you didn't tell anyone about, the decisions you still replay in your head, the version of yourself you pretend never existed. What if you could erase all of it? Would you become better? Or just emptier? The room felt colder. The glow of your phone lit your face like a quiet interrogation. No ticking clock, no pressure, just a question that refused to go away. Reset your life. Not fix, not improve. Reset. That word lingered. Because reset doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't negotiate. It wipes. Clean. You looked back at the screen. Yes, no. Your finger moved. And right before you touched it, the screen flickered again. This time something new appeared. A number, attempt number 1. Your blood ran cold. Attempt. You don't remember trying this before, do you? The message didn't explain. It didn't need to, because something inside you shifted. A feeling you couldn't name. Like déjà vu, but deeper. Like you weren't choosing for the first time. Like you were repeating, and suddenly. The question wasn't, should you reset your life? It became, how many times have you already done it? You pressed yes, There was no dramatic sound, no explosion of light, no sudden blackout, just silence. A deeper kind of silence than before. For a brief moment, you thought nothing happened. And then, you woke up, not in your bed, not in your room, not in your life. The ceiling above you was unfamiliar. Smooth, white, untouched by time. The air smelled different, cleaner, colder, almost artificial. You didn't move at first. Your body felt aligned, too aligned, like every ache you once carried had been carefully removed. Your heart was calm, too calm. You sat up slowly. The room was minimal, no clutter, no memories, no personality, just a digital clock on the wall. 3:17 a.m. Your breath caught. The same time, always the same time. You stood up instinctively, reaching for something, your phone, your clothes, your past. But none of it felt like yours. A mirror stood in the corner. You hesitated, then walked toward it, and stopped, because the person staring back at you was still you, but not quite. Your face was smoother, your eyes clearer. No dark circles, no visible fatigue, no signs of the nights that used to break you. It was a version of you without damage, perfect, and yet something was missing. You raised your hand. The reflection followed perfectly, too perfectly, like it had been rehearsed. You leaned closer, your eyes locked onto your own, searching for something, anything. A scar, a flaw, a trace of who you used to be. But there was nothing, just a clean slate. A soft sound broke the silence. You turned. A screen lit up on the wall. No wires, no source, just there. Words appeared. Welcome back. Back. Your stomach tightened. Another line appeared. This is your new baseline. Baseline. Like your life had been reduced to a setting. Adjustable, replaceable, disposable. Your chest felt heavy now, not with pain, but with absence. Memories began to surface, not fully, just fragments, like corrupted files trying to load. A laugh you couldn't place, a name you couldn't finish, a feeling you couldn't explain. They slipped away as quickly as they came. You reached for them, but your mind rejected them. Like they didn't belong anymore, because they didn't. You chose this. You remember choosing this, and that memory stayed. Sharp, clear, unavoidable. You walked toward the door. It opened before you touched it. The hallway outside stretched endlessly, lined with identical doors, each one marked with a number. You looked down at your wrist. A number glowed faintly beneath your skin. Number 002. Your pulse quickened. You weren't the first, and you weren't alone. A door across the hall opened. Someone stepped out. They looked perfect, just like you. But their eyes were wrong. Empty, not peaceful, not calm, just hollow. They looked at you for a second, then smiled, not warmly, not kindly, but knowingly. Like they recognized something you hadn't realized yet. And then they spoke, softly, almost like a warning. Don't try to remember. Before you could respond, the lights flickered, the hallway distorted, and for a split second, you saw something else. Not the clean version, not the perfect version, but something underneath, something broken, something real. Then, everything snapped back. The person in front of you was gone. The hallway was silent again, and your reflection appeared on the wall beside you, not as a mirror, but as a delay, a version of you that moved half a second too late. Your breath became uneven, because deep down, you started to understand. This wasn't a reset, this was a replacement, and somewhere not too far from here, your old life was still running without you. You didn't sleep, even though your body felt perfectly rested. Your mind refused to follow. Something was wrong, not loudly, not violently, but persistently, like a quiet scratch inside your skull that wouldn't stop. You walked the hallway again. The same doors, the same numbers, the same silence. But now, you were looking differently. Not as someone exploring, but as someone trying to remember. Your hand brushed against the wall. Smooth, too smooth. No imperfections, no history, no fingerprints. Nothing that proved anyone had ever truly lived here. Except you stopped. There it was, a mark. Faint, almost erased, but still there. A scratch, small, uneven, real. Your fingers traced it slowly, and the moment you did, your vision glitched. Not outside, inside. A sudden flash. You, running, breathing hard. A door slamming behind you. A voice calling your name. Not from here, from before. You pulled your hand back. The vision vanished. Your heart started racing. That wasn't supposed to happen. You remembered what they said. Don't try to remember. But now it was too late, because something had already slipped through. And it wasn't just a memory. It was resistance. You turned toward your door. Number 002. Your number. Your identity. Your place in this system. But now the number felt wrong. Too clean. Too assigned. Like a label on something that used to have a name. You stepped inside. The room hadn't changed. Still empty. Still perfect. Still not yours. But something new appeared. On the wall. A screen. Already on. Already waiting. Stability check initiated. Your chest tightened. Another line followed. Memory deviation detected. You froze. It knew. Of course it knew. This place wasn't passive. It was watching, measuring, correcting. The screen flickered, and then it showed you something. Not a video. Not exactly. More like a live feed of you. But not the you standing here. Another you in another room. Messier. Darker. Real. You watched yourself. Older. Tired. Eyes heavy with something deeper than exhaustion. That version of you sat on the edge of a bed, holding the same phone, staring at the same message. Would you like to reset your life? Your breath stopped. That was your life. Your real life. Still happening. Still moving. Without you. You leaned closer, desperate, confused. And then, that version of you looked up, directly at you. Not at the phone, not at the room, at you. Through the screen. Your entire body went cold. That shouldn't be possible. This wasn't a recording. It wasn't the past. It was now. Simultaneous. Two versions. Two timelines. One choice. And then, the other you spoke. Not loud, not dramatic, but clear. You didn't escape. Your throat tightened. The screen glitched. The image distorted. But the voice continued. Layered, echoing, like multiple versions speaking at once. You just left me behind. The feed cut. Silence slammed back into the room. The screen went black. Then, new text appeared. Cold, precise, final. Correction required. Your pulse spiked. The door behind you locked. You heard it. A soft click. Too quiet. Too controlled. The lights dimmed slightly. Not enough to darken the room. Just enough to change the feeling. And then, you felt it. Not pain. Not touch. But interference. Inside your head. Something reaching in. Not to hurt you, but to remove something. That scratch. That memory. That resistance. You dropped to your knees. Your vision blurred. Fragments flashing. The door. The voice. The other you. The truth. You tried to hold on to it. Tried to fight it. But it was slipping. Fast. Too fast. And just before everything faded, you understood one thing. This system doesn't erase your past. It separates you from it and leaves a version behind. to carry everything you didn't want anymore. You wake up standing, not falling, not rising, just already there. The room is different, not empty anymore. Not perfect, not clean. This one feels lived in. Your breath is uneven, like you've been running, but you don't remember running. Your hands are trembling, but you don't remember why. You look around. There are objects now. A chair pulled slightly away from a desk. A glass of water half empty. A jacket thrown carelessly onto the floor. None of it looks staged. None of it looks artificial. This place has weight, time. You take a step forward. The floor creaks. You freeze. That sound. It's wrong, not because it's unnatural, but because it is. For the first time since you pressed yes, something here behaves like the real world. Imperfect, unpredictable, alive. You move again slower this time. On the wall in front of you, there's a mirror, but it's covered. A dark cloth draped over it like someone didn't want it to be seen. Your chest tightens. You already know. You don't want to look, but you need to. Your hand reaches out, hesitates, then pulls the cloth down. The mirror reveals you, but not the version you've been seeing. This one is fractured. Your face is the same, but not aligned. Small inconsistencies. A slight delay between your movement and your reflection, but not like before. This delay feels intentional, like it's choosing when to follow you. Your reflection tilts its head, a fraction of a second too late. Then it smiles. You didn't. Your stomach drops. The room feels colder, heavier. And then the reflection speaks, without moving its lips. You're not supposed to be here yet. Your body locks. Every instinct tells you to step back, but you can't. Because something about that voice, it's yours. Not exactly how you sound, but how you think. Raw, unfiltered. The version of your voice no one else ever hears. You try to speak. Your throat tightens. Nothing comes out. The reflection watches you, patient, almost curious. Then it raises its hand, slowly, and places it against the glass. You don't move, but your hand, your real hand, begins to lift. Without your permission, your pulse spikes. You try to stop it. You can't. Your palm presses against the mirror, cold, but not solid. It gives, slightly, like the surface isn't glass, but something thinner, something permeable. Your reflection leans closer, now perfectly synced with you, too perfectly, and whispers, "Do you want your memories back? Or do you want the truth?" Your vision flickers, because suddenly you realize those are not the same thing. Memories are what you remember. The truth is what actually happened. And something inside you knows those two things don't match. The room shifts, subtly. The objects behind you move, not physically, but contextually. The chair is no longer just a chair. It's where you sat. The last time. The glass isn't just water. It's what you reached for when your hands wouldn't stop shaking. The jacket isn't random. It's what you wore. The night everything went wrong. Your breath becomes sharp, because now it's coming back. Not as images, not as scenes, but as understanding. Heavy, immediate, unavoidable. You step back. Your hand breaks contact with the mirror. The surface hardens instantly. Just glass again. The reflection stops moving, stops smiling, stops being alive. The room goes still, too still. Then, a sound behind you. Soft, familiar. A phone vibration. You turn. On the desk, a phone lights up. Cracked screen. Worn edges. Not the clean device from before. This one is real. Used. Yours. You walk toward it. Slowly. Like approaching something dangerous. The screen is already on. And the message is already there. Would you like to reset your life again? But this time, there are more options, not 2, 3. Yes, no, restore previous state. Your heart stops for a second. Restore, that means you've been here before, not just once, multiple times, and each time you didn't fix your life. You replaced it again and again and again. Your hand hovers over the screen, but now you hesitate differently because now you understand something you didn't before. Resetting your life doesn't erase your mistakes. It just creates a version of you that has to live with them. Your finger trembles above the screen. 3 choices, 3 directions, 3 different versions of you waiting to exist, but only one truth. You don't press anything, not yet, because something inside you is changing. Not fear, not confusion, clarity. Slow, heavy, uncomfortable. You look around the room again, but this time, you're not seeing objects. You're seeing consequences. The chair. You remember now. You were sitting there when the call came. Your grip tightens. The memory doesn't arrive gently. It hits, sharp, uninvited. Your phone, this same phone, vibrating violently against the table. A name flashing on the screen. You knew that name. You cared about that name. And for a moment, just a moment, you almost didn't answer. You swallow. Your throat feels dry. You step closer to the desk. The glass of water. Your hand reaches for it instinctively, then stops, because you remember why it's still half full. You couldn't drink. Your hands were shaking too much. You were trying to stay calm, trying to sound normal, trying to pretend everything was fine, even when it wasn't, especially when it wasn't. The room feels smaller now, like it's closing in. You turn toward the jacket on the floor. You hesitate, then pick it up. The fabric feels heavier than it should, because it's not just a jacket. It's a timestamp, a marker, a silent witness. You were wearing this when you made the decision, the one you've been trying to erase ever since. Your breathing becomes uneven, because now it's not fragments anymore. It's forming. The full memory is coming back, and you can't stop it. You close your eyes, and it happens. You're there again. Not watching, reliving. It's raining, not cinematic rain, real rain. Cold, annoying, relentless. The kind that soaks through everything. You're standing under a street light. The yellow glow flickers weakly above you. Your phone is still in your hand. The call is over, but the silence after it. That's what broke you. You remember the words, not all of them, just the ones that mattered. I needed you. Your chest tightens violently. You take a step back in the present, but the memory pulls you deeper. You see yourself, that version of you, standing there, lost, overwhelmed, afraid. And then you made a choice, not a dramatic one, not a loud one, a quiet one. The kind no one notices until it's too late. You turned away. You told yourself you'd fix it later. You told yourself it wasn't that serious. You told yourself you had time. You didn't. The memory shifts. Faster now. Harder. The rain doesn't stop. But something else does. A message. A second call. Missed. Then another. Missed. Then nothing. Your breath catches because you remember what came next. Not from memory. From feeling. That heavy sinking realization that something irreversible had just happened. And you weren't there? You weren't there. You weren't there. The words echo, louder, sharper, until you open your eyes. You're back in the room, but you're not the same. Your chest rises and falls rapidly. Your hands are clenched. Your vision slightly blurred. Because now you know this wasn't about failure or regret or missed opportunities. This was about one moment, one decision, one absence that changed everything. You look at the phone again. The 3 options stare back at you. Yes, no restore previous state. But now, they don't feel equal. Because now you understand what each one really means. Yes, escape again. Create another version. Leave this pain behind for someone else to carry. No stay. Face it. Live with what you did. No filters. No resets. Restore. Go back. Not to fix it. Not to change it. But to feel it exactly as it happened. Your reflection appears again. Not in the mirror. On the black screen of the phone. Distorted. Watching. Waiting. And then it speaks. Soft. Cold. Certain. You didn't reset your life because you hated it. A pause. Your pulse rises. You reset it because you couldn't forgive yourself. Silence. Heavy. Final. And for the first time, the question isn't what you want to choose. It's what you deserve to remember. Your finger lowers. Not fast. Not dramatic. But certain. You press. Restore previous state. For a moment, nothing happens. No flash. No sound. No confirmation. Just your reflection on the cracked screen. Watching you. Judging you. Remembering you. Then, the world inhales. You feel it. A subtle pull. Like reality itself is being stretched backward. Not moving you through space, but through consequence. Your body goes cold. Your vision fractures. And suddenly, you're not in the room anymore. You're there again. The rain hits your skin instantly. Cold, sharp, unforgiving. It soaks through your clothes like it's been waiting for you. This isn't memory. This is presence. You're standing under the same flickering streetlight, the same weak yellow glow, the same moment, frozen in time, waiting. Your phone is in your hand. The screen is still on. The call has just ended, and the silence. It's exactly as heavy as before. But now, you know what it means. Your chest tightens. You look down at your hand. It's shaking, just like before. But this time, you don't turn away. You don't rationalize. You don't lie to yourself. Because now, you remember what happens if you do. Your phone vibrates. Again, the second call. The one you missed last time. The screen lights up. The name appears. And it hits harder now. Because you know, this is the moment. Not the big one. Not the obvious one. The small one. The quiet one. The one that decides everything. Your thumb hovers. Time doesn't slow down. It doesn't wait. It moves, just like before. And you have seconds, not minutes. Seconds to choose who you are. Not who you wish you were. Not who you'll become later. Now, right now, your mind screams. Your chest burns. Your past and your future collapse into this single point. And then, you answer. You bring the phone to your ear. You don't speak immediately. Neither do they. For a second, there's only breathing. Yours and theirs. Fragile, uneven, real. Then, a voice. Soft, breaking, barely holding together. Are you there? Your throat tightens. But this time, you don't stay silent. You don't hesitate. You don't disappear. You speak. Not perfectly, not heroically, but honestly. I'm here. 3 words. That's all. But this time, they land. You hear the shift on the other end. Subtle, but undeniable. Like something that was about to collapse. Didn't. The rain keeps falling. The light keeps flickering. The world doesn't suddenly become better, but it doesn't break either. And that's the difference. You stay on the line. You listen. You respond. You don't fix everything. You can't. But you stay. And sometimes, that's the only thing that matters. The moment stretches, not infinitely, but long enough. Long enough to change the direction. Not erase the pain, but prevent the fracture. Eventually, the call ends, not abruptly, not violently, gently, like something that will continue. Later, you lower the phone. Your hand is still shaking, but your chest feels different, not lighter, but steadier. You look up. The streetlight stabilizes, the flicker stops, the rain softens, and for the first time, the moment doesn't feel like a trap. It feels like a path. Then, the world glitches, a sharp tear in reality. You feel it again, that pull. But this time, it's not dragging you back, it's releasing you forward. The street dissolves, the rain fades, the light collapses, and you're standing somewhere else. A new room, not empty, not perfect, but yours, truly yours. Your phone vibrates. One last time, you look down. A message. No sender, no number, just text. Attempt number 2. Stable. A pause. Then, one final line. No further reset required. You stare at it, longer than before, because now you understand. You were never trying to fix your life. You were trying to avoid a moment, one moment. But life is made of those. And if you erase them, you erase yourself. You expect it to end here. Clean resolution, quiet closure, a message that tells you everything is fixed. But life doesn't work like that, and neither does this. The room you're standing in feels real, too real, not controlled, not optimized, not corrected. There are flaws, dust on the shelf, a faint crack running along the wall, a chair that doesn't quite balance. You notice everything, because now nothing is filtered, nothing is erased. You walk slowly. Every step feels heavier, not in a bad way, in a true way. Like gravity has returned. You reach for the window, open it. Air rushes in, warm, unpredictable, alive. It carries sound with it. Distant traffic, a dog barking, someone laughing somewhere you can't see. You close your eyes, and for the first time, the world doesn't feel like something you need to escape. It feels like something you have to face. You turn back into the room. Your phone lies on the table, silent now. No more messages, no more options, no more system. But something about that silence, it's different. Before, silence felt like pressure. Now, it feels like space. You pick up the phone. The cracked screen reflects your face again. Not perfect, not aligned, not clean, but real. You stare at it, waiting, half expecting it to glitch, to speak, to offer you another way out. It doesn't. And that is the most unsettling part. Because now, there is no reset, no second version, no hidden system correcting your mistakes. Only you and what you choose next. You put the phone down, slowly, carefully, like placing something to rest. Then, a sound, not from the phone, from behind you, soft, familiar, a voice, not digital, not distorted, human. You turn, and there, standing in the doorway, is someone, the same someone, the name you saw, the voice you almost ignored. They're real, not a memory, not a reconstruction, alive. Their eyes meet yours. There's something there, not anger, not relief, something more complicated, something that survived. You don't speak immediately, neither do they, because both of you understand. This moment doesn't need words first. It needs presence. You take a step forward, slow, careful, like approaching something fragile. And this time, you don't hesitate. You don't calculate. You don't wait for the right moment, because you already know there isn't one. There's only this one. You stop in front of them, close enough to see every detail, the imperfections, the exhaustion, the truth, and finally, you speak, not to fix the past, not to erase what happened, but to acknowledge it. I'm here. Again, the same words, but now they mean something different. Now, You stay, no system confirms it. No message appears. No voice tells you that you made the correct choice. Because this time, there is no system, only consequence, only continuity, only life. And that's when it hits you. The reset was never the miracle. Staying was. It should end here. You stayed. You answered. You didn't run. That's what stories usually reward. But this isn't a story designed to comfort you. Because something is still off. Not obvious, not loud, but present. Like a shadow that doesn't match the light. Days pass, then weeks. Life continues. Not perfectly, but honestly. You talk more. You listen more. You show up. Even when it's uncomfortable. Especially when it is. The person you almost lost, they're still there. Not unchanged. Not magically healed. But still there. And so are you. You start to believe it's over. That whatever that system was, it's gone. Left behind. Like a bad dream that fades with morning. Until 3:17 a.m. You wake up. No sound. No reason. Just suddenly awake. Your room is dark. Familiar. Real. You sit up slowly. Your heart is calm. Too calm. That feeling. You recognize it now. You don't reach for your phone immediately. Because part of you already knows. But eventually, you do. The screen lights up. No notifications. No messages. Nothing unusual. You stare at it. Waiting. Seconds pass. Then, a flicker. Subtle. Almost deniable. And then, text appears. Not new. Not different. The same. Would you like to reset your life? Your chest tightens. But this time, there are no options. No yes, no no, no restore. Just the question. Alone. Watching you. Waiting. You don't touch the screen. You don't move. Because now, you understand something you didn't before. This was never a one-time choice. It's a constant one. Every day, every moment, every silence, every response, every time you choose to stay or disappear, the screen shifts. One final line appears beneath the question. Slower than before. Deliberate. Current state active. A pause. Then, reset is no longer external. Your breath becomes shallow. Because you understand exactly what that means. No system. No button. No escape. The reset is you. Every time you ignore someone who needs you, you reset. Every time you walk away instead of staying, you reset. Every time you choose comfort over truth, you reset. Not your life, but who you are inside it. The screen goes dark. Completely. No glitch. No trace. Just your reflection. You stare at it. Longer than before. And this time, you don't look for perfection. You don't look for escape. You don't look for another version. You just look, and you recognize the only thing that was ever real. The version of you that chooses. You lock the phone. Lie back down. Eyes open. No fear. No urgency. Just awareness. There's no reset coming to save you. And there doesn't need to be. Because now,